in the area. Stick close and keep an eye out.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. As you can tell from the title, I wanted to share with you some of my thoughts and feelings surrounding TLOU Strategists' latest video. If you haven't watched it yet, then please go ahead and do that before watching this video, because otherwise nothing I say will make any sense to you. However, if you have watched it, then perfect. So, a couple of things I want to get absolutely straight before we get started. 3 things, in fact. First thing is any views or anything that are expressed in this video are entirely my own. I don't speak for anybody else but myself. I just wanted to make that abundantly clear. The second thing is this is just a game. I think some people forget that sometimes. You know, we get so caught up in how passionate we are about the game and the community and the people that we support and everything like that. But, you know, at the end of the day, it is just a game. It's not real life, you know, and people need to sometimes just reflect on that and think about it. But I'll cover that more later on. And then the third and final thing is, you may have worked out by now, I don't have a script. What I mean by that is I'm not reading from a sheet of paper what I'm going to say. I'm literally just letting my ruminations take me wherever they're going to take me. And yeah, we'll see what happens. So let's start off by breaking down the concepts that I'm going to talk about. So I'm going to discuss his concepts that he raised in his video in no particular order. I'm going to cover the actual visuals of the video itself and the effect that it had upon me. And then any other things around it that I think are particularly relevant. Things like any comments I've seen or any reactions that I've seen from other people that have already taken place. So I was fairly late watching the video myself because, to be honest with you, I'm not the most ardent follower of his channel. I've always known TLOU Strategists to be somebody that is, you know, a big content creator for The Last of Us, works closely with the Naughty Dog developers to give us updates about the game. And to my mind, you know, he's always been a very reasonable and very dedicated person to his channel. Yeah, that being said, I've got to be honest, I didn't know what to expect going into the video because I've never watched a Fireside Chat before. And, well, I was surprised. I'll be honest with you, I was quite taken aback by a lot of what was in the video, particularly what was said and things that were covered. So let's go into that first. So, in my honest opinion, I think a lot of what he said was relevant and necessary and needed to be said. So things like the community being at a crossroads. Absolutely agree. I think this community is fantastic. There's many great people in it. And, you know, I think we've got an incredibly unique community here. That being said, there's no escaping the fact that there are a lot of toxic people in this community. You know, there are a lot of people that are not good advocates for our community, for new players, and people that want to play the game, you know, just to enjoy it. And that is a shame. You know, I think that's a real great shame, because I like to think that we've got a fairly unique community here with the game that we play and what we do. You know, and to see it sometimes plunge into the deep depths of sort of despair and toxicity and everything that goes along with that, I think it is such a shame. That being said as well, I know that there's never going to be a perfect community out there. That's, you know, that's not realistic. And, you know, anybody watching TLOU Strategists video thinking he was going to say about, or thinking he was saying about having a perfect community, then I'm sorry to say, but I think you've got the wrong idea. You know, if you watch TLOU Strategists video thinking that he was looking at everything through rose-tinted glasses, thinking everything was great, you know, that's what he was trying to go for, was a perfect community, then again, I'm afraid to say I think you've misunderstood the point of the video. To my mind, watching it, to me, he was trying to highlight some things which he felt needed addressing. And he was saying that, I'm not saying everything's going to be perfect, and he said there's going to be lots of concepts in this video that I'm going to cover that people aren't going to like. He was straight up about that. It was well planned, it was well versed, and I felt like things that he said were relevant and necessary. Now, we all know, having watched the video, of one particular person that was mentioned, an individual. So many of you know I've been friends with the individual for a long time. We have a lot of history and we go way back together. So before I made this video, I had a one-on-one discussion with him, and I said to him, I want to know your thoughts and views on this matter, because I didn't feel as if he'd been adequately given a chance to be heard. And we had a discussion, and it was a fruitful discussion. I'm not going to go into what we discussed because that was between us, but what I'm going to say is, he knows that, he's not the best Last of Us player, and he's done things that he's not proud of. And we had a really good discussion yesterday about things that, have happened and how he's feeling about the whole thing. And look, he's going to do things in his own way, as TLOU Strategists did. So I'm not going to give you the rundown on what he was feeling or whatever, because I don't want to tread on his toes in terms of creating his own video and his own reaction. But what I will say is that we discussed it, and we came to an agreement that not everything that's happened was necessarily good, and he isn't proud of everything that has happened. But at the same time, we're all adults. We all do things that we're not proud of, and we all have to take some responsibility for that. And I said that to him myself. We need to think about our own actions and our own outcomes. That being said, with regards to what TLOU Strategists said, I personally, watching that video, didn't feel as if he said anything that wasn't factually true. I.e., when he mentioned about things that have happened with certain situations, like, for example, the $100 tournament, okay, I was watching that and I'm analysing it, thinking to myself, well, he hasn't mentioned anything that wasn't true. He hasn't made up any lies about individual. He hasn't tried to besmirch his reputation. I didn't feel like he outright berated him. I just feel like he pointed out things that have happened and how he'd analysed them. The only thing I wish he'd done differently is had a one-to-one conversation with the individual first about it, because I felt like that would have been the right thing to do. Because then at least he can say, like I can, that I had a discussion with him and we talked it over. And to give individual his credit, he talked about it with me. He didn't shy away from a discussion. We talked about it man to man, if you like. And we were honest with each other, which is exactly what I wanted. So, again, credit to him, and credit to strategists as well, because he felt like if he had something to say, he was going to put himself out there. And with 25,000 subscribers, to put yourself out there like that, wide open to criticism and other people's opinions, I have a lot of respect for that. So, yeah, that's what I'm going to say on the matter. I think there's things on both sides that people don't know about. I think that what TLOU Strategists said was fair and incontestable, because it was factual. But at the same time, I wish individuals' voice had been given a chance to be heard. Okay, moving on to the video itself and the visuals and everything. I thought they were fantastic, spectacular. I mean, watching that video back, it's very immersive, and I've watched it 3 times. So I feel like I fully understand the points made in the video and the visuals and everything, and I thought they were great. It really allowed me to just sit back, relax, and just listen And that was what the point of the video was, just to listen, you know, and take it in. Yeah, and that's kind of what I've got to say, really. I just thought the video was really well done, really well versed, and there was a lot to take from it. So let's finally go on to then, in terms of where I think it's going to go next. Me personally, what I'm hoping is going to happen is that TLOU Strategists and individual are going to sit down, metaphorically, of course, or at least be in a chat one-to-one and talk it through, you know, what's going on and what's happened. Because, look, they're both massive influences on the community. No matter what you think of either one, you know, I think they're both big influences on the community, and they both have the power to make a lot of people think in a certain way. So it's important for them both to conduct themselves in a manner which is fitting of, to use TLOU Strategists' phrase, community leaders. Now, I always feel like TLOU Strategist has done that in his demeanour, in his conduct, in the way he conducts himself, you know, and the way he carries himself. I've had no doubt in my mind that he's always tried to do the right thing by people. So I'm really hoping they can sit down and have some civil discourse on the matter and discuss it together. Okay, so the final thing I want to discuss for about the last 3 minutes is me, because ultimately what I take from it is the most important thing here. You know, how I've reflected on myself as a Last of Us player and as a content creator, you know, and everything like that. I'm going to start off by saying I've done things I'm not proud of, you know, trash talk, you know, sending people messages, you know, just generally doing things that are not healthy for body and mind. And I am a big believer in introspection, which, as the dictionary defines it, thinking about one's thoughts and actions and emotions. So I'm a very big believer in this concept, and it's something I've done for quite a number of years now. And I take great pride in thinking about what I'm going to do to make myself a better person. And I do try to live by that. You know, I like to think that with regards to me and my YouTube channel and the things that I stand for, to use a phrase that a lot of people use, you know, what you see is what you get. I hope that I come across in that way. You know, what I portray myself as is totally raw, totally honest, genuine. You know, I genuinely hope that comes across. Again, you know, I've made a lot of mistakes. I've made a lot of errors with my channel and people, and, you know, things have been said about me and I've reacted in certain ways, you know. But I'll give you one quick example of where I think I've done something really well. So quite a while back, and I can't remember if it was on a stream or a video of mine, but there's a guy called Bath Time with Vaughan. Now, I don't know this guy very well, but there was something said in that video by myself which had been taken out of context. And rather than attacking this person, Vaughan, who I've seen a lot on Rage's streams and things, and I have nothing against this guy, and, you know, I cast no aspersions towards him. But, you know, rather than attacking him for saying things like, oh, you know, why are you saying things about TLOU Strategists, whatever, we discussed it in the comment section. All the comments are there to see, as far as I'm concerned. I haven't deleted any. And we handled that, you know, like gentlemen, like you should, you know, and I have a lot of respect for him for doing that, because it's not an easy thing, especially on a game like this where tensions are running high and people have a lot to say and things like that. You know, a lot of people are passionate. So to sum up, really, I think I've made a lot of mistakes, but I hope that I come across as a genuine person. But, you know, at the end of the day, this is just a game, and it's not real life. And yeah, that's kind of where I'm going to leave it, really. It's just a game. So thanks very much for watching. Perhaps the ending was a little rushed, but it had to be, because I wanted to condense it. But yeah, thanks very much for watching, and yeah, always remember, keep your hands off me.
All right, pack.